Good morning. Good morning. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Looks like you can, but I always like to check just to make sure that you can. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Okay. Cool. I just hit a button. I just adjusted a little bit though. Yes, the coffee is ready. Yeah. Gotta love it, right? Gotta love it. All right. So let's just dive into things today. So, not a whole lot of headlines to really talk about going into a Monday morning. Um, Yeah, it's Monday morning. Really, there's not really. I mean, clicking it, you can see there not really tons. I mean, we're talking about the Turkish lira, Zambian uh, kwacha. I guess I don't know. I can't even say that correctly. Never traded it. Don't know anything about it. Um, you know, some news out of China. China's banking assets are 52 trillion, growing. Yep, got it. Wholesale prices. Yeah, we see them. It's there. Some articles about inflation. Being at a 39-year high. Posted some things in the Discord channel. Saw that the approval ratings were way down. Right. James missed my joke completely. You know, it says that 94% of Republicans disapprove. I was like, wait, there's 6% of Republicans that approve. I'm totally confused. They must have misread the questionnaire. Um, but even in his own party, the way that he's handling the economy and inflation right now, 54%. So yeah, not looking rosy good and all peachy over on the political front there. So we'll see. I think this Wednesday, FOMC is going to be quite a big deal. Um, I think we're really going to get our road work. I think a lot of the movement though will happen beforehand. Um, so it's just something we need to be prepared for. Um, Thus far, really the only thing moving is I would say a little bit of yen movement, but the pound. All right, and it's not super strong. I mean, it is beating the dollar. It's up 16. You can see dollar strength, dollar strength, dollar strength, dollar strength. And again, pound dollar is in the green. So again, the pound is the strongest right now. Pound yen, obviously, 60. I think that rolls back and starts to push back down again, as I mentioned in Nadex. And then again, we'll see if we have that continued dollar movement. Lately, the last couple, it is normal, it is healthy, but not when it's almost three times higher than what it's supposed to be. um, Especially knowing what we have coming. Yeah, I mean, the scariest part about it, Sean, or was it Sean that just said that? Oh, it was Neuro. The problem is, yeah, inflation is fine, right, under normal conditions, but we're going to start, with it three times higher. How much, how many interest rates is it going to take before it's controlled and back down to the 2%? I think that's the bigger question, right? Um, and how much damage does raising the rates, right? That's I think that's the question that I had the most is how much damage is it going to cause when they finally do it, right? Please don't insult Sean like that. I know, right? Sean, is it still snowing in Michigan? I feel like you've been under so much snow lately. Um, anyway, so yeah, so that's going to be the name this week. Is and again, I'm hoping we get enough movement today. I feel like things are going to get probably more stagnant tomorrow, right? Just in preparation for what's about to come, right? I mean, we all know what's coming, but we don't know exactly what they're going to say or how they're going to say it. That's the big question. I would venture to guess that it's not better. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, here, I mean, it's kind of. I mean, honestly, it's kind of wrapping up. It's kind of heading down like the perfect storm, right? Right. The economy's kind of peaked, right? We're long overdue for a pullback, right? Um, Inflation is, obviously record highs. Okay, they're going to crush that down. Then all of a sudden, what happens next year if like I don't know, three variations or mutations of Omicron down the road, it does become an issue again. Like, I don't think they'll lock down again. And it's funny because, everybody out there that was complaining, they're like, oh, that's ridiculous. They need to lock down everything. It was like the political stance of the week, like, lock it all down, right? And then it's like, but don't lock it down, you know? Um, yeah. It's funny. All the things that the one side complained about, now the other side is, it's like, hey, we're doing it now, but you're not happy about it. So, I don't know. I just think if COVID ever does come back into like a major, an area that becomes a big concern again, where there has to be actions taken, and you're doing the interest rates, and there's the recession, and people are already quitting their jobs, right? Because people are like, no, no, you should pay me more. Like I thought it was funny. The person's like, I quit because my coworker makes $10,000 more than me. Well, it's like, well, great. Did they negotiate when they were given their offer? Because that's your fault, not your coworker's fault. Like, if they needed people and you were in demand and you sold yourself short, that's your problem, not your coworker's problem or your company's problem. Like, if you gave them cheap labor, you know, like they should they be stupid and not take it? I mean, come on, right? Like, eventually, you got to take blame on yourself. And it's funny. I told my ex-wife this too. She had a coworker that made a decent amount more than her. And it's because my ex-wife didn't negotiate at all. That's just not in her personality. Where the other girl who was younger, didn't have as high a degree, she negotiated and ended up getting more than my ex-wife. And I was like, listen, I was like, it's one of those things like you can counter offer, and it depends on how bad they need. It's supply and demand, right? But I'm like, don't be mad at your company for not being like, you know what, we're paying her enough. We're going to pay you more too. No, that's not how it works, right? Everybody's different. So yeah, but I think it's great that people are all quitting. It's like you're all quitting your jobs, hoping that there's more. But yeah, hope the economy doesn't crash and then we're in major trouble, right? Is kind of what we're standing for. So again, slow start to the week. Let's just dive right over and we'll start with the indices. So, or with the currencies. So first things first. I mean, take it for what it is, right? We've had a push basically since late last night. European market kicked in right here in the middle and gave it a little bit of a hiccup, and it just continued to push lower. Now, we didn't make it all the way down. We were looking for this number down here at the 7120 area. It made it down to about 27, so we missed it by about 6 pips. And it's kind of rolled back again, but again, we're just trying to see what the U.S. market is going to do now. Like, what is the dollar going to do? Let's go back one. Let's look at the Dixie real fast. As you can see, the Dixie's like the tail of two peaks here, right? It's been really kind of coming back down, and so all that dollar strength that was put in the overnight, as a 4:30 European session, was pushing lower. Now we'll see. We're in the first kind of U.S. Open candle here. We're seeing a little bit of green. Not many buyers until we get down to the 96.15. So it's kind of showing a bit more. And again, had all that dollar strength, and then was kicking back in dollar weakness, but we were still up from where we were on Friday. So you know, I would say right now Aussie dollar it's close to a level. And again, this is kind of all that dollar strength coming in, but we're seeing that the Dixie is kind of not showing us that much strength. It just shows how much weakness there is everywhere else. Um, I still think it's a decent level. I like to see it come down in base and maybe take a little bit of a bounce. I wouldn't say it's not the greatest, right? It's been hit twice already. Short-term fib traders are going to be looking at this one, and again, probably from the top down, they're going to look at this and say, "Hey, listen, right around this level at 71.55, we could pull it in. We could also do it this way, and which really hasn't changed much. It's still the same kind of little hiccup right here at 71.50. That would be like kind of an intraday roll, right? So, right now, I would say look for a potential reversal in this one. Again, we've seen really dollar weakness, although the Dixie is coming back to the downside. Um, this first 30-minute candle is going to really tell us a lot, and that's kind of what we need to focus on, right? So yeah, look for potential bounces, but if we do base in there, I wouldn't be hesitant to again push this lower. I do feel that this will be a week of dollar strength with FOMC because again, it's not like at this point we're at 39-year highs. What is Powell going to say, right? Well, we want to carefully adjust. Yo, it's at 39-year highs, right? And you're going to carefully adjust. It's kind of time for action. So, I mean, Jamie Dimon said months ago that it would be a what was his words? It would be a sharp change in policy, and I think that's what's coming. So, yeah. But again, I'd really like for this one to again maintain height up here, but I do think we have some major drops in the Aussie dollar this week. This is one of the currency pairs that I like on the just where we are, being way up top. I think this one has more room to run to the downside. But again, watch a small level, maybe a potential bounce off of it later on today. Aussie, as you can see, Aussie, we ended up hitting and kind of using it as the first initial target from the short. Kind of turned below, again, hit it, kind of use it again, kind of based on it again, kind of stabilized on it, hit it, basing on it. So I would say right now this one is kind of lined up in the same way. We know we have a little bit of an area right there. Um, Really no buying opportunity. And again, the original target we had on this one was 80.68. So we got a little bit more room to run to the downside, about another 35 pips to the downside. So got some room, right? I would say right now it's already a little bit late if you're not already in this trade. I don't even know. Was it a decent level pullback? Eh, kind of. It kind of right in the middle. I mean, it just doesn't. Unfortunately, it's one of those ones. Actually, it should be there, but um, again, we're not talking about major movement here. This entire push from really late last night is only about 45 pips. So, considering it's got the yen in it, not much. I do think this 80.68 is an important level to watch out for. It has been hit, what, one, two, three, you could say four, five, right? But it is barely pierced. So, any type of continued pierce through, I think we have some probability for this one to bounce off of. If you know how to set alerts on your software, I would say set an alert probably in here so you can get notified to come back to it. Just a little bit ahead, approximately what 80, 72 ish. Kind of see what it does. I mean, if we strike in fast, or if we're just kind of basing above, like if we start to base right above this level, I look for a potential break of this one, coming all the way back down to the second target, which should be down here at 80.02. Okay. Um, I'm actually okay with this one. I think, again, I think those are two great targets for shorts this week, and again, earlier in the week. So we'll see if it continues to drive lower. Euro pound. So, Euro pound. We still have fibs drawn from last week, and again, you may say, "Well, wait a second. Why are you drawing all the way down to here?" I'm kind of looking to see where prices and what prices are doing. Particularly the fact that again, it's starting to base on that level, and now it's doing a Harry Potter off of that level. I like that. I'm all for that. I want to see what this next level does. Again, this is kind of giving me an idea of when price does come down, if we take a bounce, where potential future trade setups are. But again, we just blew through that level. That was a target. We weren't looking to go long there, and it did what it was supposed to do. It based on the top, pop, came through, and then tested it. Um, with them speaking at noon today, the financial stability will come out, right? That data is right here. Okay. I don't expect Bailey to say, like I said, Bailey's going to say we're great. The system is strong. Everything we done so far has been great. We're the men and women. Give us a raise, right? Um, there is going to be a but, right? I do feel that there will be a but. And again, we got this news this morning that somebody has actually passed away from Omicron. Thus far everything has been mild, but now we actually have confirmation that somebody has passed away with it. Um, and again, Omicron is spreading at a phenomenal rate. In cases, we're doubling every few days. So thus far, all we've heard is that it's mild, but now we have a death. It's spreading a lot more. There will be more deaths. I mean, if you think there's not, again, you could have Omicron, die of a heart attack, and they're still claiming that it's an Omicron thing. So, that's just the way that it is. um, the UK, I will say, more than anybody else, has really made a big deal of Omicron. It's kind of dissipated in many other countries, but they're keeping it alive. With that said, again, where we are right now, can we, when that report comes out, can we hear about, again, how great everything is? Yeah, I think so. Again, we know we have a level of buyers just below it. It's not fresh; it's been touched a few times. But I would say right now, again, I would say it's the way that it's setting up. If we don't really have a whole lot of movement, I would say, the fact that we actually would have some knowledge, knowledge coming out of the UK. Again, this right here, I think this is probably a decent setup. The risk on it is not huge. And again, we're kind of right at that level right now. It's only like 8, 9 pips, so it's not big. My big question is, can we get through this level here? Right. And again, we've already been kind of front running a little bit on the basing level here. So, it's not bad. If we can maintain up here, I think we do push down. And I think 84.50 is probably the decent target. If it can break through this level, I know we got like a little tiny hiccup here, but I'm still kind of drawing this one out ahead of time because I do think we will bounce off 84.50. And I'm really curious to see. And again, you can see we have selling already up here at the proposed level at the 61.8 level. So, I think that this one is setting up for potential trade opportunities later in the week. And remember, this doesn't have the largest ATR, so it's not like this one's moving 800 pips every single day or anything like that. It is a smaller mover compared to other markets out there. So, but again, I think it's probably a decent rollover. And again, if you were able to get this one short, again, pretty standard Harry Potter setup. Let's see where the 1 to 3 brings us. Yeah, 1 to 3 brings us right to the area of buyer. So it's definitely a level that, those of you that know, again, we're here last week and we talked about this level and the basing in that level. Definitely something you could watch that for and been in already. Euro yen. So We knew we drew this last week that we were going to have some major problems here because there was buyers here, buyers here, buyers here, buyers here, buyers here, buyers here, and then boom, exploded. And you can see from that level. I mean, I'll just do a little box here, right? Right from there, you can see that touch, touch. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what broke it, right? So we knew that they were there. And then when it did, it went down and it grabbed the next level. So although we do have somewhat of a trend, right? We do have a bit of a trend. You could say, oh, well, the trend broke. Yeah, it kind of did, but it was at a session open, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to it. It is more on the downtrend. We do have a bunch of lower lows, and now we're just stabilizing with the new market coming online. I would say the fact that we have the pound data coming up, it could definitely the euro pound down, which would show European weakness, which would also align with European weakness over here in the euro yen. So I would say kind of the same thinking. I look for prices to come down. We have a Harry Potter drawn. And again, if you know how to set an alert, I would set an alert probably a bit early. Again, I would expect some profit taking, actually, some buyers to come in right around this level here. What is that? 127.85. And again, you can see it bounced off this yellow level, right? Again, the profit taking would be on the black bar. Longs would be coming in just a little bit below that one. It's probably worth one more hit out of it. But again, I'm looking for more of the break. So I kind of want to know um, if you know how to set alerts in your program. I think 127.36 would be a nice little alert to understand. Hey, listen. Oops. There we go. Just have an alert and just say, let's see, Urian, Harry Potter. Um, as it comes through that level. Reason why is because that's where the setup occurs. We would look for some space to pull back in to continue to push lower. But right now, I would say I'm more bearish than anything else. I would look for this to continue to roll and probably push down lower. Um, Again, couple different areas where it could, we could get some movement off of. But like I said, I think first hit based off any of the European news, if we do get a session open, again, the session open really didn't do anything here. The next session open would be over here, again, associated with news. If we are sitting up top, again, there could be a potential long area out of there. But again, curious when we break through the 127. Euro dollar. So euro dollar, it ended up pushing down. It touched. We talked about this one. Again, we had our buys, we had our sells, we had our European open session right there. This one, obviously, you can see tagged went off, profit target hit, and then it hit it one more time. So I think right now, based off of kind of everything, this one was a Sunday gap, right? We gapped down, we continued back up, and then we pushed all the way to the other side. So I would say this yellow zone is probably not going to hold again. We have the original base area. We have 1 touches, 2 touches, 3 touches. Next would be number 4 through. It did just pull up and grab a little level of basing right there, right? Let's see. That is about 26. 8. Hmm. Just the fact that we had the base and we had the 3 touches and we finally broke it. I don't really I don't necessarily have a great base level. I guess I could base it off of that. And then again, this would be another short position. This is continuing with dollar strength. And I think we absolutely hit this one. 1 to 3 is right there. So it's a little deep. It's a little deep, but again, that's what our profit target was for shorts was 112.35. And the last time it drove pretty deep into that zone. So um actually it's a little bit higher than that, but I'm never gonna be able to get it right now. Oh, I did. I did. So again, kind of the same setting, right? More or less the same setting. Looking for a break of what do we got? 112.60. I'm looking for that to come down to 112.34. Okay, so just under 30 pips. Actually, just a little bit over 30 pips. Um, Again, I think it's probably a decent trade setup. We can set an alert as it approaches. And again, in the overnight, let's see, for any of you fib overnighters, yeah, there would have been a 50, but again, the level you would have wanted was this level here. Okay. Um, Quite small risk on it though, right? Only about 6 pips worth of risk. So very, very tiny. And again, it's reversal. It's, you know, profit taking, session rollover, et cetera, et cetera. It's only a zero point 0.6, but I would continue to see this roll. All right, pound yen. So pound yen, I mentioned earlier. I like how high it is. Again, let's see, touch, 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 bounce, bounce. I don't need it now. We chop through the side. Um, Unfortunately, there's not a great zone to grab up top. I do think that this one, again, I was hoping that it was pulling back. I do feel that we're going to get some movement with whatever Bailey says today. Unfortunately, it's not bouncing into a level that's that I'm like, yep, love that level. Think it's great. Wonderful. Um, just not there yet. I do think we can get a bounce higher. How far are we from the top? Let me see. 50. Oof. We could probably make that one. Um, right now, I would say I really like these top two zones. Um, could we take one off of here? Oh, it's 151 flat. Oh, I don't claim it. Claimants. Okay. Um, I would say either of these two levels. Oh, I didn't want to move that. Just wanted to extend it. I would say watch out for this news release here. Vertical line. We're gonna stick him right there. We have a news event right there. That would be a short position. Okay. Um, hmm. I'd like to see this one continue to go higher, but the way that it's looking right now, it looks like we're really trying to test those buyers coming in there. So, um, we do have a touch, and again, this is still black because it's supposed to be a target down at 149.52. I think again, it's a new week. We had a really big spike. I mean, it's hit two different times, hit and gone, hit and gone. Um, it was reestablished and was pretty decent. Now we've been front run. So as we approach this level at 149.52, I think look for something right there. I don't think that it's not a horrible trade. Let me see something real quick. Let's put it up here. Pound yen, pound yen, pound yen. Yeah. So pound yen right now is in a 30-minute, 4-hour uptrend setup. So kind of looking for it to pull back. And it's odd. The indicator is drawing. This is the zone right here, right? But I just don't know how much is it. It's 40 pips. Uh, I don't know that we can get 40 pips in the next 2 hours before Bailey speaks. If we could, then again, I think that with Bailey speaking around noon, which is or 12:30, which is right there, that would be a decent pop. But we got to get down there first. I just don't know if we can get that much movement this late into the day over there. But again, it is a 30-minute, 4-hour uptrend setup, so I do like that. I like how it's pulling back. I'd be looking for buyers. I just don't have the best buying area right now. And again, we got more or less clear running from this area here. We got clear running up at least up to 151. Again, big psychological number. This is a decent sized run. If we go from top to bottom, it's about 80 pips. So it's a nice runner if we can get the setup. I just don't know if we can drop 40 pips during that time frame. Maybe what Bailey says drives us down, and then that becomes a rally point for tomorrow, and then we can roll over from top. So maybe there's two trades set up. I don't know. We got to see where we are in the next 2 hours with Bailey. Pound yen. All right. So pound yen. It is high, right? It is up to the top here. So again, it's trying to position itself, and that's where it's kind of like, let me see what is dollar index doing. Yeah, dollar index. See how it kind of made that push up, and now it's pulling back again. We kind of need the dollar to stay with the strength for this one to continue to roll over. Um, hmm, how big is this room? How much risk is here? It's only 10 pips. It looks like a lot on this chart for some reason. Um, we don't need this level anymore from the weekend. Um, it's not. This is not a bad short either. Like I said, I do think dollar strength will be coming in as the day progresses forward. Dollar strength helps roll this one down. And again, it's been dollar strength, pound strength have been the two kind of fighting each other. But with some continued dollar strength, this rolls any type of dollar weakness. I think everybody's expecting Bailey to be, pretty decent in what he says. Um, but it's the but statement that I think is going to get him. So 1 to 3 is only right there. So that's not that far of a runner to the downside. So yeah, not bad, not bad. Um, like I said, it's right around the 133.66. Not a bad roll, right? Not horrible. Could be worse, right? Could be worse. But I think it's pretty decent. And again, it's not like we need to take a huge run all the way back to the downside on this one. All right. This anymore? All right. Yeah. All right. Again, we're at that level right now. It'd be a little bit in profit if you were in. Dollar CAD. All right, so dollar CAD. So it looks like the 50 gave us some resistance, and that's why we were kind of drawing this on there. Again, 50 was down, 50 was down, 50 hit this level, and it's continued to rally higher. So we're going to leave that level. That's now confirmed. All right, we're going to change that to green because we have a confirmation there. I don't really need the fibs anymore. I don't necessarily care about it. Funny, that weekly call spread went all the way down 3 pips and came back up again. We can take this one off now. Um, Yeah, really. I mean, for this one right now, oil is down. Yeah, oil's down 1% today. I think we're okay right now with this one. Like I said, I think between Omicron, talking about inflation, again, mentioning the energies in that one, I think this continues to rally higher with FOMC. I would say really right now, I there's not really a level that's like, hey, if it pulls back to this, grab it. But I like being long this one at least up to the 128.33 level. There's a couple small levels here, but nothing spectacular. And like I said, this was the only level that we liked. It was confirmed twice now, right? Once, twice, and finally broke through this morning at about midnight. So, yeah, I would say continue to ride this up, and then 128.33 is where we're looking for. I would pay attention to this if we can get back down to this level. It has been hit twice, so it is a third hit, but it's barely broken in there. So buyers have come through big on that one. I think that's something to watch out for. But 128.33, 126.83 on the bottom side, going across the dollar Swiss. So it's funny. There was our target for dollar Swiss right there. It kind of got close and then turned and rolled back down again. So um, yeah, dollar Swiss is we're kind of playing right in that middle spot. Um, I would say again, I know we got front run again from there, but I think the 92.66 up top, the 91.67 down below, I think are both valid areas still. Um, do we take something off this 92 level? 92 is going to be psychological to a bit. I think it depends kind of when we hit that level, right? Kind of depends when we hit that level. If we can associate that with any of these the news over here, I think we're golden. But otherwise, just taking it out of the ordinary, I think it's too small. Let's see, yeah, it's like 4.5 pips risk, kind of a small trade. Looking for 12 in the other direction, probably not worth it, right? So I'd say look for something up top. If anything, I would say look, we've been front run 3 times off this level. If you want to get something aggressive and maybe around news, you can take a small level right there. Um, but at this point, just let it kind of do its thing. There's not really, I mean, there's buying in here, but you have 1 touches, 2 touches, 3 touches, kind of a four, kind of like a 3.5. It didn't quite hit. This will be hit number 4, so not ideal. Racetrack down, buyers coming in right here, and then again, nice level at 91.67. So fortunately, Monday, not much to do. Everything from the overnight session went up at 4:30. It reversed right back down again, and we're right where we started at midnight. Dollar yen. All right, so dollar yen. Last week we were looking for this to come over, and we were sitting in this level. Okay, it went to full completion. So again, this level now has basically provided itself twice. The first one up top has come all the way down. The second one, again, we had the Harry Potter. We drew it here, but it was this level here, right, that we were trying to draw here, and it down. Hit it again on Friday, and it's all the way back down again. So again, the level has now been hit 2 times, almost 3 times. I would say at this point, again, with the dollar doing what it's doing right now, the Dixie having some hiccups. Right now, the yen is in more control than the dollar is. I would say it probably comes down, but we got buyers right below. Unfortunately, this one is more sideways, and I think this one's going to be a little bit slow until FOMC on Wednesday. I don't know that we're going to be able to get out of this range. Like I said, I think cutting through 113.83 is going to take something from FOMC. It's not there yet, right? I think we do get a roll, but right now it's not the ideal setup. Again, being in the middle of the range, not really buyers on top and bottom. We're getting close to that. It's 10:03. There is an area of buyers here, but the Dixie is really just not helping us one way or the other. I mentioned to Todd, I'm like, yeah, I'm like all the indices look like they're going to be red. He's like, but they're green now. I was like, yeah, but they all look like they're going to be red, and they're all red now. VIX is up 8%. So has there been a headline that I missed talking to you guys? Tell two countries. What did Canada say? Experience has shown the best way to monitor is maintaining a low and stable. Wow, look at that. The best way for growth is to maintain a low and stable inflation environment. Um, control band of 1 to 3%. Yeah. Yeah, we're at 5.8, and Canada's like the best way to grow it is 2%. We want 2% inflation. 5.8, baby. Yeah. Um, so that's probably why that one's moved so much. Um, but yeah, so again, I think dollar yen is going to be a kind of a strange pair. And again, if you're look at Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is down 4.5%, Ethereum is down 5.5%, Dogecoin is down 5%, and bonds are up. So again, the even the bonds market is now preparing for you know FOMC at this point. Um, yeah, silver's moving again. All right, let's go across and look at oil. So we had a level at 789. We bounced off of that. I mentioned during the next presentation this morning that, again, taking that bounce off of oil, something to watch out for. And again, it's doing okay. Let me mark off the um, right there to 830, right there. Oops, I missed it by one. 830 is right there. There's your blue, decent. Again, we pushed all the way down into an area of buyers for the for the U.S. session, and again, maybe seeing it rallying a bit. I'm sure the red indices are not really helping today, but um, yeah, no, no, Neuro, I don't think so. Absolutely not. Um, yeah, no, no, because cryptos is a risk play. We're trying to go risk off right now, so yeah. And again, it's risk off. Cryptos are getting hammered, and gold is up point 0.3, and bonds are up point 0.3. So the big money is going back into the traditional assets, not the risky assets. Yeah. Um, so I would say I would expect oil maybe to kind of claw some of this back. I like this level. I know it's been hit a few times, but I think this one continues to maintain continues to push higher a little bit. Um, like I said, Omicron is a threat, but at the same time, we just keep hearing this smile. The economy's opening up. We have, the UK getting ready to talk. And if the UK says that their economy is strong, Canada says that we're focusing on a strong economy. We know what the US is going to say that, yeah, we got to curb inflation, but we're strong, right? Because they can't say we're weak and we're going to curb inflation. They're only going to say that they're strong and demand is continuing to increase. These are all big terminologies to kind of push oil higher. So I think today, I think we go long again. I don't know if I'd take a short yet off at 72 or 73. Decent level, barely touched, and that could be an inventory situation tomorrow, right? We get the potential short here with the API number tomorrow night. I expect oil will be probably. Whoops, well, it doesn't matter. I expect oil will probably be a bigger mover in the European session as people are waiting for FOMC. Um, I think tomorrow morning for inventory it may be a little slow, but I hear you. We'll see where this goes. Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. There, I don't. Is there? My opinion is, and again, I have to temper this because now Crypto.com owns it, but I think it's important to understand. You know, I think I think blockchain technology has a place in the future. I absolutely think it does, but I believe it'll be with the digital currencies. Um, China's outlawed Bitcoin now. India has done it. I mean, those are two huge countries have outlawed it already. Once you have a digital currency with blockchain, I mean, there's all it's going to take now. And again, think about it. We have kind of an environmental crisis happening right now, right? Everybody wants to talk about, climate change. They can't call it global warming because it's not warmer in some places. It's climate change, right? I mean, none of the cryptocurrencies right now, none of them are environmentally friendly, right? I mean, you're basically solving fake electronic math problems that cost a lot of power, right? Generate a lot of heat, use a lot of power to have some type of a token. Um, Kind of one of those things. All they need to do is basically just outlaw its usage, outlaw its acceptance of payments, um, and that's it. What happens? I mean, if you can't make it in China, you can't make it in the United States, and you have those two big nations that have outlawed it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think this is why you're seeing this sudden change in all the cryptos. Are like, hey, you should regulate us because if they get regulated, then it gives it some legitimacy. If they're not regulated, then it's no man's land. Nobody will do it. So there's exposure there, but it's literally only going to take one person um, to. And again, it's not like the people that make the rules understand it. But again, everyone's like, we don't need the big countries. Yes, you need the big countries. the Reddit trader should not be dictating monetary policy, right? Right. Wall Street bets should not be dictating monetary policy and how much inflation is good for us, right? And that's what those guys are trying to attempt to do, right? And again, this was supposed to be at 100. Now we're at 48, right? So, and again, Doji at 16. You haven't seen it down at 16, breaking almost 15 into the 15s for a while. So I think it's dangerous, Um, Kind of one of those things. Big firms will carry it, right? And more places will carry it. Why? Because that's what the populace wants. But right now you're seeing it down 5%. And where's the money going? Bonds and gold. Um, so that's oil. Natural gas is rallying up again, but again, we're running into that gap from last week. Right at that 410 mark. Um, I think natural gas I would expect to be higher right now. I mean, we had all the tornadoes in Kentucky, right? So not surprised that we're seeing, whenever there's any type of natural disaster, you tend to see natural gas. And natural gas will move more than regular gasoline. Why? Because they can ship in, tanks and stuff like that. It's easier than bringing in oil tankers, right? Um, Propane, right? You can do a lot of stuff with propane. There's not many people in the backyard with turkey fryers run with gasoline, right? But propane tanks, natural gas tanks, yeah, yeah, yeah. That stuff is on the demand, disaster proof, right? So not necessarily surprised at this. Again, cold here today. It's 31 degrees out in Maryland. Colder than Michigan, so obviously we know that this is climate change. Um, but again, wasn't surprised when I saw this with any type of natural disaster. But I do think it turns and rolls back down again. It's under too much focus right now, um, just with everything going on. But Sean, I will say it is 31 here now. But 2 days ago, Saturday, Friday or Saturday, it was 70 degrees here. So we went from 70 to 40 in 70 to 31 in 3 days. Um, Climate change. So I would say, yeah, I would be looking for some type of an opportunity in natural gas. I wouldn't be surprised if natural gas is down tomorrow. We'll see how it rolls. Gold, obviously bouncing back and forth. We took a huge bounce from this level last week. Um, Earlier today, again, we hit this level right around that 730 mark. Took a big drop. U.S. trader came in, bounced it again at 930, and again, I think this one continues to roll. I told Todd I expected to be a little bit more choppy today. I'm really what I'm curious about is if we kind of can get a break of this level right here. Again, a lot of buyers in there, ascending candles, wick, 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 and kind of a test off the target. Boom, hit it again. When it does break, there's not really much holding it up. There's 2 wicks here, basically at the exact same spot. So again, not concerned about the mirror wick, and it was a big pop from last week from CPI. So I think 1770 could be on the run today. So if you're looking at a short position for gold, I think, whoops, I just want to move it. I don't want to move the whole thing. Um, right, 1 to 3 is right. Perfect, right on 1 to 3. I think we have the ability to kind of push all the way back down again. So again, this would be one of those ones setting an alert, looking for a break of, let's change it this way. Looking for a break of 1780. And again, if you wanted to, oh, I actually have to click in the middle of nowhere. Add an alert. What is this? Gold. Here we go. Right. Break of 1780. Looking for targets down here. And again, ideally, probably right in this area. Probably 1772. Probably we need to make sure we have our targets out by this level, which is right around 1772.40. But again, you can see we have room for 1 to 3 in there. So again, break of 1780. Look for this to continue to drop, retrace all the way back again. Silver, a bit higher, and again, I'm waiting for this one to break as well. From when Todd talked, price was sitting over here, and we just jumped a little bit higher. I will say, looking to the left of where price is, you can see that we got a lot of selling going on over here. We got an original level here, right? And again, that would be a decent rollover point. Base, slam down, touchdown, down, based, and then strong movement off of that. What price tag is that? 2245. Um, hmm. That's an interesting one. 2245 could be an interesting setup for a reversal. And again, we already have another Harry Potter. It's if this, then that when we break through. We haven't broken through yet. But that could be another nice little turn. Um, hmm. Now, Todd and I were talking, and I mentioned he's, well, shouldn't all this stuff go up on Wednesday? And I said, no, not really. In reality, it should go down because um, I guess it depends on how much they acknowledge inflation. But remember, the FOMC meeting to cut taper and raise interest rates is to drop inflation. If you're playing silver as an inflationary hedge, we're at the stage now where, yeah, inflation's here, but we're going to start raising interest rates, right? to smash inflation. So technically, it's not the best time to get in. It's kind of like as inflation is building, use it again. Use gold as a hedge against inflation. But if you're going to do nothing but crash inflation now, it's kind of like, well, the hedge is disappearing, right? So I would say 22.45 is probably decent, but it's already starting to turn and roll back down again. It's a little bit early for a 10:30 reversal, but again, it's kind of winning right now. And again, with bonds up the way that it is, you can kind of see where the money is transitioning out to. Let me see how TLT. Where do we got? Yeah, TLT's got a little bit more room to run. Um, there's kind of a gap right here in TLT, so we got a little bit more for bonds. We'll probably have a bit of a pullback. So, yeah, it's kind of an interesting. Like I said, we're so close to a level here, and the reason why I was looking because as bonds hit a level and kind of come back because people will trade TLT. If this one turns and flips, we should see the reversal in silver as well. Right, so they both go a little bit higher. We should see that reversal back again. But this is probably a later, maybe a tomorrow trade. Maybe I mean it could absolutely be an FOMC based trade too. So we'll see. There's something sitting there. Let's go see what the VIX. VIX is continuing to push. Dixie is rallying up again. Remember we talked about that one trying to rally, get some strength in that one, particularly the Aussie dollar. Let's see what is Aussie dollar doing. Yeah, there we go. See, we're trying to break through. It's trying now. Let's look at the overall indices. Let's see how these turned out today. All right. So I mentioned it before. If we had a pop through that level, it had clear running all the way down to 46.80. Guess what? It came down to 46.78.75. So it did run into those buyers down there between those two levels. And that's what I said. If we were able to break through, and again, 9:15, it just started to break through. It did give us a little bit of a pullback right to that level. Wasn't huge though, right? Yeah, you can see just some wicks in there. But look at that, rode all the way down on that position. This one would have been hard. Again, no real pullbacks, just one consistent push down. Again, there's 10 o'clock. Are we reversing off 10 o'clock? Yeah, maybe not. But let me see what other headlines we got. Any other big headlines? No, just talking about inflation. Range technical. Oh yeah, Macklin just spoke. That's where I was like, that's where the statement came from. Uh, Dollar CAD likes it. Look at that. The inflationary target. I love that. So yeah. So would not have been an opening trade set up this week. And again, Monday is the one day of the week where we don't have a lot of them typically on the 15-minute chart. Like I said, in the overnight, this one was pretty easy to watch. We had these lower lows in here from really European session, try to drive it, and then kind of failed at 6 o'clock, and it just started to put in the lower lows, lower highs, and then at 8:30, it just took off to the races. So again, kind of one of those ones. It was more of a gut feeling, not really like a true trade setup. And it did. It dropped. It went all the way through the level. Again, we're looking for it to be down there at opening, but it already opened. It was already through that level, so um, would have been quite an easy short this morning. Um, yeah, not much to say about that. I will say though, let's see. Let's mark this off for tomorrow. We'll mark this level up top. Obviously, it's kind of a front run of the 47.25. I do like this level lower. Trying to see where will this stop now. I would say my next downside target would be here. So we already took the one bounce off the first target. So here would be target number 2 in your short would be 46.61. Now let's see where the fib traders are looking to get short. Oh, you know what? They're probably going to get short here or trying to. This big push and there's the 23.6 pullback. Here, let's do just the overnight. Or let's do just the 9:30 candle. Yeah, look at that. If you do just the US based session, it's right around the 50%. If you do the entire move really since late last night, you can see it's at the 23.6, right? So both of them are looking at again, it is reversal time, but they're both looking for some selling help to come in. So yeah, I would say next side target would be 46.61. Again, we mentioned about that one collapsing earlier. NQ, look at that. NQ it was a decent level, right? And we kind of came all the way down and it did the same thing. It dropped, it pushed, And look at that one. That was more of a Harry Potter. Look at this. Boom, 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 right down. Um, let's see, where did Apple? I'm curious now where Apple went to. We knew Tesla was going to have issues. We knew Tesla was gapping lower. Yeah, yeah, we knew Tesla was having some issues. Apple's holding firm, but it's looking like it's having a hard time rallying much higher. So I would say NQ is probably at risk to go a little bit lower. Even let's bring this down to a 15. Um, there's probably a target there. Let's put this across. Hmm. Yeah, it's doing I mean, it's doing our Harry Potter like we like, right? The drop, the base, the pullback, and then it's finding more orders. There's probably going to be, and again, it's not horrible. This is a 15-minute, but that's a decent candle base. I like how that came down. I like the one candle base. I like the wick formation. The ratio of wick to body on that one. Then I like the response out. It was a 3 o'clock kind of announcement or a 3 o'clock move. So yeah, Elon got person of the year. Do you see that? Because he's changing space or something like that, or changing the globe or something like that. The statement on it was pretty funny. You remember the Olympics? That girl from the Olympics that would like made the I forget what her name was, but it was like a meme for like all the you know all the those pink hats that the women wore around. You know that meme that they had of that girl? I forget what her name was. Um, yeah, Jeff Bezos is making that face now. He's like, really, really, really. His toilet's broke. I had William Shatner, you know. So yeah, Bezos is pissed about that. So yeah, yeah, Bezos is like, fine, we're gonna make our moon base landing first. You have no rules up there, so we're gonna do it. Yeah, it'll be a battle to who colonizes Mars first. Anyway, again, as Apple starts to kind of hit some and Tesla gets a little bit more ground, there'll be some profit taking, which will probably help stabilize a little bit. But again, obviously we have one little area here. It's fighting, it's trying, it's got some buyers in there. If these buyers fail, I think there's a short today. You take this afternoon. You look for this one to come down, and again, it does have enough room to run to the downside. It needs to go down to 16,151, which is fine, right? We know we have buyers that are stepping in right here, right? So again, decent short. Everything's a short today. Short the world along those lines. Okay. Again, told Todd, it's like everything's looking red today, Todd. Everything's looking red. That's why he made the comment. Everything's slightly in the red. Right? Everything's slightly in the green so far. I was like, yep, good answer, good answer. YM, not surprised. Told you guys before. I mean, we were sitting here, right? I'd said if we slice through 5,000 or 35,800, look for a profit target at 35 or 3,600. We just hit it, or 35,600. We just bounced off of it. So again, using these psychological levels. Again, Todd's conversation was right here, and I said, "Watch of a break," and it's gone. And it's. I mean, there's not much to do with it now. Um, we have buyers at this level. This is a profit target first. We'll see if it's able to come back down and kind of start forming a stabilization. We know the buyer stepped in, so it was really an opening trade setup today. Really kind of like a pre-market based trade, seeing how the market was reacting pre-market. And then again, we knew at a level here, and we said if it had already broken through that level, we talked about off to the races, and it's gone. It's too late now. If you weren't already in for the opening, again, tune in earlier for the Natics presentations because yeah, we talked about that one earlier. Russell, kind of the same thing. We didn't really get to talk about Russell, but expected this one with a break below. There was that little Harry Potter that we talked about last week, right? And again, it kind of went down and it turned right on kind of the profit target. So it'll come down and complete this one fully, not a spike. If you didn't get closed, but kind of the same thinking, right? Again, we were looking for more of a base, but again, it was just accelerating. It did spike back up again. So really hard morning to trade the indices using the 15 minutes. They started their moves at 9 o'clock this morning and just accelerated all the way to 10:25 or 10:23 where we are right now. Um, Not much to say. I mean, they're already at target levels, so it's this had to be early morning. Hopefully, we get a little bit more out of it later. But like I said, Tesla's not helping the situation, and Apple Look, Apple was that last kind of final push. It was like, oh, and now that it's starting to drop too, the NQ is not going to have much more room to stand on. So again, I think break of 16,224, a little bit of a base and pullback. I think we take off, and again, we go ahead and hit profit targets down here at what level are we at? 16,150, right? 16,150. Um, so yeah. Um, Again, I'm curious to see TLT. Yeah, TLT. Like, see how it's starting to get up there? It's close and it's starting to turn. It's right. It's trying to fill that gap. And then silver. Yeah, look. See, silver is also starting to roll and pull back from that same level. Let me see what is Aussie yen doing. Yep, look at that. All the way down, coming to its profit target on Aussie yen. So again, that was an 8:30 this morning, 8:45 ish. We started to talk. It was a little bit beyond. Um, Euro pound is kind of setting up. Again, we've bounced. Again, still kind of set up there. Euro dollar stabilizing. Well, look at that. Made two-thirds of the way through on that pound dollar trade. So it's trying. It's trying. I'm curious to see if we'd be able to get out of that one before noon. This could be before the noon base trade on that one. And dollar CAD. Unfortunately, we just don't have enough news for dollar CAD to run. Actually, let me see. What I don't think we have the inventory yet. We have PPI tomorrow morning too, don't we? Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Oof. So for those of you who don't know, PPI. Actually, I guess you can click on it. You can read here. Um, PPI. It's this is kind of what the government uses more than CPI. Um, you know, this is the goods and services. It says the change in price of finished goods and services sold by producers. Um, this is kind of what gets passed on to us. So it's not like it's not the PCE, but it's one of the bigger ones that the government actually looks like because it takes into account what it costs them to build it, to get resources, and all that kind of stuff. So this could probably be a big one for tomorrow morning for the dollar at 8:30. Um, hmm, Trying to figure out how we spike. Actually, before I get completely derailed, um, look at Wednesday. You think you got some stuff on Wednesday? Look at all this. Wednesday, CPI for CAD, right? And again, this is lower than ours. Retail sales for the US, right? Then Macklin is speaking. Then we have all the economic projections, right? And then Lowe is speaking at night. And then we have Aussie unemployment change, right? So Wednesday is just like, there's just so much stuff on Wednesday. Uh, Look at that. Look at the difference in Aussie unemployment. God, that's going to be big. Man, I'm looking forward to Wednesday. But tomorrow's PPI should be fun too. Yeah, dollar cat's not going to get us up there. Swiss's stock again is this is the indices rolling over. Yeah, down 5.5 on Bitcoin right now. Look at this. Bitcoin is just slicing. There is some areas down here right at 47. 47 is sitting right. It's probably easier if I just type it in here. Whoops. Oof, we can break 47. That's going to be a media call. Look, AMC's down another 13%. So AMC getting crushed today. Wall Street Bets helping out people here. GME crushed. Dogecoin crushed down at 1570 now. We're at 1570. It's dropped even more. And TLT is still holding firm. And look at those risk assets. Yeah, it comes back to the risk assets more than anything else. So, yeah, there you go. Russell's almost out. We're sitting right there. We just touched. There you go. There's your target. Actually, you got to go a little bit more for the target, but we knew we had buyers stepping in right at that level. I know, right? Imagine that. Yeah. Come on, just touch it. Come on, just touch. It's right there. I need you to drop one more point. Come on, Russell. Um, the newer Wall Street Bets guys give me funny looks when I tell them I won't touch Jimmy. Yeah. I haven't heard from him. I don't know. Did they lose their profile? I'm not actually sure what happened to him. Um, yeah. So there's their target. Look at that. Slice through. Look at it. Bounce, slice through it. And like I said, not stopping at least until this level. And again, there could be another Harry Potter, but yeah, look at this. That one's through. How about that for a pullback? Look at that. Right at the 23. Going to 46.61. So, yeah. So that's it, guys. I mean, hopefully you guys got into these early morning shorts. Like I said, Monday morning, everything was starting to roll flip early. Again, didn't look like the best, and there was no positive news out there, which again leads us more into kind of the negative side of things. So, yeah, I mean, I would say the biggest thing, obviously, this week to watch out for is going to be, I mean, literally, just at a quick glance. I mean, starting tomorrow, PPI is going to be a big insurance gauge, right? It's already expected. It's supposed to be not as high as it was before, but again, any type of miss here, I mean, at this point, the speech is already written on Wednesday, but that's going to obviously help. This is going to be a bouncer tomorrow morning. Wednesday, CPI year over year, 4.8%. Again, much higher than what the target is at 2% for the pound. Again, we could get some, again, great opportunity for the pound to get more strength out of it. CAD CPI, kind of the same thing, although we just had statements today. Retail sales over here, Macklin speaking in Canada. FOMC is going to jack everything around on Wednesday. Then again, New Zealand GDP, another opportunity there. Again, that's a big drop in GDP, but again, they're due for a pullback anyway. Aussie, look at this huge number on Wednesday. Thursday, we have some monetary policy with the Swiss, so dollar Swiss will be a player on Thursday morning. All the flash services and everything. Again, here's the pound's monetary policy statement. Not expected to change anything, but we'll see what the language is after they do the CPI year over year at 4.8%. This could be a nice mover in this statement right here, this official branch, this monetary policy summary, right? And then the European monetary policy. Again, we knew December was going to be their big meeting when they were going to cut all the tapering. That's Thursday. That's a big one. And then again, Friday is finally a little bit slow. Just some retail sales and Waller speaking. But Thursday has a lot of blockbuster things too. Again, could be a big day for the euro also. Because like I said, remember they didn't taper. They were strategically allocating funds into the areas that needed it the most, but that was going to end in December. That their December meeting was going to be big. Well, it's the December meeting. So yeah, yeah, this could be a big one. So a lot of stuff this week, right? Man, there's a lot of news this week. Look at this. Mentioned that this one would turn back. It was up 66. Now it's only down 35. Pound still holding versus the dollar. Dollar CAD continue to rise, but again, we're watching oil take a little bit of a hit. And again, seeing that dollar strength over here in the Aussie with some Aussie news tonight. So, and again, still some pound strength over here. So, a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, let's go ahead and do the drawing. I have to find the drawing now. Where is it? There it is. There we go. We got 8 people in. Briggs won the other day. Briggs, remember he didn't use his best money management, but he went with 3 tickets last week. So he's in today. He's in for 2 tickets. Remember, since this would be second win in a row, he would be getting 100 pip chips. Everybody else is at 25. It is a Monday. I love it. No Ernest, no Ernest. It's like, man, Ernest is like, I only got 2 tickets. I'm not even really in. Come on. I didn't win. So, all right. With that said, let me close the giveaway. Let's figure out the winner of today's drawing is. Watch me get snubbed again. Debbie. Look at that. That would be what? Twice in a week? Would that be twice in a week? Right? I feel like that's twice in a week for Debbie. Right? I feel like that's twice in a week. Go Debbie. See, no one's anti Debbie. Marina's like, yeah, it's my girl. That's my girl. Look at that. See, see, guys. You should take note of this. The women are out here supporting each other, and you guys are like, you should lose. Everybody should lose. Rah. See, look at that. Debbie wins 2 in a week. So, all right. With that said, I hope you guys were in earlier this morning for shorts. Look at those targets to be hit later today. I would look for reversals potentially tomorrow. Again, if the markets are down big today and Omicron hasn't spread to every American suddenly, like some sci-fi video, I look for potential rollovers. Again, big day down today. We should reverse back again. And again, PPI could set us off one way or the other. Imagine if PPI tomorrow comes in lower than expected. Imagine if this comes in as a zero point 0.4, right? If that comes in at a zero point 0.4, showing that they're not paying as much for things, could lead to a pretty interesting rally. And then again, some more excitement for FOMC meeting notes on Wednesday. So, yeah. Yeah. So, pretty exciting week. With that said, again, tomorrow, make sure that, again, we are on at noon tomorrow, not early in the morning. And then obviously Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, back to our normally scheduled time at 9:30 Eastern time. So, with that said, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Hopefully, you guys were able to grab some of these positions. Hopefully, you guys were setting some alerts. And again, catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.